Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over an article on tabstocks.com. Most of you have probably already seen it, but we're going to go over it anyway. We're going to take a look at the charts on the ZNOG and gas. And we're going to talk about what in the heck is going on in the markets right now. Currently, the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the Nasdaq getting the crap kicked out of it. Again, basically giving away all of the gains from yesterday and then some. So we're going to talk about how to kind of navigate through this market currently right now and kind of what I'm doing and, kind of go from there. But we'll start off with Zion Oil and Gas, of course, and talk about what this article says, look at the charts, and then give you my feedback on the stock and the company as well. So it says Zion Oil and Gas oil by Christmas of 2022. It says, will we see oil by Christmas 2022 from the MJ2 well? On the Zion Oil and Gas site in Israel, Tabstocks investigates. And it says the Christmas tree. A deep well requires a large Christmas tree, and Zion Oil and Gas are setting up their site to engage in a prolonged oil testing process. Okay, so then it bodes the question, what in the world is a Christmas tree? Okay, it's not like the one you see actually at Christmas where you have the Christmas lights on or anything like that. It says, what is a Christmas tree? On an oil rig? It says in the oil and gas industry, a Christmas tree is a piece of heavy equipment that controls the flow production by a well. It is a separate piece of hardware that connects to the wellhead after the drilling has ceased and the well begins pumping oil or gas. Okay, so keep in mind they haven't confirmed of what they found yet. Apparently we're still in testing or whatnot, so it's kind of hard to say exactly what they have, if the Christmas tree's there, if they if they're using it to use it what it's used for, because they haven't confirmed whether or not they've gotten what they are searching for. So the oil testing process has never before been attempted at these depths in Israel. As they announced in the annual shareholder meeting, this is the deepest well drilled for land-based drills in Israel. Zion Oil and Gas zones of interest, it says that they have a number of zones of interest. And given the testing equipment being set up on site, Zion clearly expects to produce oil in great quantities. The Zion Oil and Gas 3D seismic testing data. The testing data was extensive, never before seen in Israel. A great achievement. Information informed Zion Oil and Gas to drill on the site and to drill deep. That's what the 3D data told them, basically, to stay in that area and go deeper. Moreover, the 3D data, like a philosopher's stone, guides Zion Oil and Gas's drill to drill further well. Big more, it cries. The ZNOG share price, a fall in the price from 40 to 20 cents due to no news when the news is the elephant in the room. The reality is not the price of the stock, it's the reality of the project unfolding investors should focus their attention on. Only those traders who seek sudden wealth do not leave their money in Zion Oil and Gas shares. It is the mature investors who are likely to gain more, and by buying more ZNOG stock on the dips. The fool harvests his grapes before they're ripe and then complains when his wine is bitter. The learned investor enjoys the sweetness of success because he knows that Rome was not built in a day. When the time comes for the share price to go to the moon, the fool kicks himself for not buying low and holding, and then sulks in the corner of his room sucking his thumb. Zion oil field in the making. What does Zion Oil and Gas know about MJ2 they're not telling us? They drill deep and have zones of interest, number of zones. During the drilling phase, they tested samples, and these have been analyzed. Based on the results, Israel granted permission for Zion Oil and Gas to test its MJ02. If there was nothing to test, there would be no testing process and no plans of a further well at this early stage. And then it says Zion Oil and Gas by Christmas, or Zion Oil by Christmas. Now, let's not jump ahead of ourselves, but all the signs lead the seasoned investor to draw but one conclusion. Like a poker game, only the skilled players end up winning in the long term. So too with investing in stock. So I make some good points on this. Actually, I enjoyed reading this article here. Only found one typo. I know that I'm kind of critical on sometimes I'm going over their articles and I find some little typos, but I found one and I was like, okay. But the info was really good and made some good points, right? So the share price, we'll kind of talk about the share price, why it dumped. Well, it ran up off of speculation and excitement of they're going to announce something big at the shareholder meeting. And then as soon as John Brown came out, obviously, and said, not today, not tomorrow, not yet. And then what else can I say? And he kind of threw his hands up in the air. People were like, oh, heck no, started dumping down. However, if you sat through the shareholder meeting and you controlled your emotions and listened to what they told you, or kind of like what I had to do, I actually had to go back and rewatch it. And whenever I had calmed down about, you got to be freaking kidding me, man. You know, like I was really critical of the management, of their body language and everything, and how, you know, how they basically, I felt like John Brown had tanked the stock. However, you go back and watch the meeting, very, very informative, right? Very informative. Yeah, the energy level stunk in the room, but we don't know why that was. However, like I said, a lot of really good information, and it was good to actually know why it took so long, because we kept saying, like, well, what the heck is taking so long? What are they doing? And they released all that information to us all at once. And it was kind of nice, because you got to sit there and listen and learn, and they actually have a PowerPoint you can go through and read through it still on their website of what took them so long. There was one piece of equipment I think took like 7 months to get to Israel. That's a long time. That's over half a year just to get the piece in, or the equipment in, and then you got to take time to set it up and all that type of stuff. So anyway, you know, some good information at the meeting, and it kind of, you know, makes some good points on here too. Is why would they, you know, go to test? Why would they do testing if they didn't have anything? They didn't find anything. So we'll have to just kind of wait it out and see at this point. Again, it's still all speculation at this point of exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it, until they come out and release to us the information that we are waiting to hear. So it's kind of like, you know, you pick on what you want to do. I know some people sold, got mad because, you know, man, this was supposed to be our time, and you're like, dang, come on, man, you know, I've been holding this thing or waiting for, you know, for a long time. But this is, to me, a lot different than, you know, 88 Energy, whenever they came out and released that the well was unsuccessful and they had to plug it up. You know, there was a reason for the stock tanking at that point, you know, and for me, I went ahead and sold at that point because, okay, that was my bad. I had a, you know, pretty decent amount of shares, and I knew it was a pretty big gamble because, you know, it could have gone either way, obviously, and it went the wrong way for me and for a lot of people. And then at that point, I said, okay, I'm out. You know, I'm not holding on to this. I'm not accumulating anymore, because I'd gotten burnt 2 out of the 3 times that I swung the stock. And, you know, I could always re-enter later, but I'm not looking to get into that. This here was, in my opinion, just a really large overreaction. So it's kind of like, you know, if you sold, yes, you could always get back in. However, I'd highly encourage you guys to go back and look at the annual shareholder meeting and actually listen. And if you're going to get back in, if you don't have any skin in the game, you're going to need to keep track of the news that may be coming out soon. And what I mean by that is, I think whenever they come out and update us on the license that was updated, or they're trying to, I think, file for an extension, they submitted all their paperwork, and now they're just waiting on the ministry. I think whenever they announce they've secured that, I think that's whenever this stock is going to start moving and start kind of, you know, trickling back towards the upside again. Until then, it can kind of stay, you know, probably around 20 to 22 cents. I thought, honestly, that it was going to come back and retest like 15 to 10, but that may not be seen again. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But anyway, let's take a look at the charts, guys, and let's see what they're telling us. All right, guys, so taking a look at Zion Oil and Gas, ticker symbol ZNOG, Z Dizzle my nizzle, as you see here, the big run up all the way to 42 cents, and then we fell really, really hard all the way down to as low as about 17 cents. The good news is we bounced off of that red SMA line, okay? And that's a good sign of price strength. We kind of bottomed out here, and we started making our way a little bit back towards the upside, and we're, you know, kind of stalling here at about 22 cents. There's not a whole lot of volume, but we're still at fair value. We are trying the crossover from bearish to bullish, and I think off of any type of news that Israel has granted that extension, that 3-year extension for drilling or whatever type of license that is, that I think it'll start moving back higher and probably maybe retest that 30 cent mark and, kind of go from there. So currently, like I said, I'm watching. I haven't bought any more this week because I really want to see what happens going into next week. By the end of next week, I'm going to look at probably buying some more. However, this little pop to the upside here it could easily be erased, right? It could fall back down again, obviously, if, nothing comes out. People start kind of selling again. We could be getting, the short sellers could be coming at us again. I don't know. And either way, if it starts to move back without me buying more, I'm okay with that because I'm pretty set. I've bought a lot and I'm good with what I have. However, if it does stay around 20 cents or below, that's where I'll be looking to come in and buy some more. So I want to take a look at the S&P 500 and talk about how we're just getting destroyed. Okay, so this, originally we talked about, I thought 3,800 would be our support level as it bounced off of it once and then, made our way back up. But now we broke below that. So we're going to redraw the fib level here on SPX and take a look. So 36.5704 is our bottom, and then 48.18, 62 is our tip top. We're still trading far below that red SMA line, so we have a while to go to get there in order to confirm that we're back into a bullish pattern. Okay, we're super oversold on the 180-day 4-hour, which actually, if you kind of think about it, is kind of exciting in a sense of once we kind of start seeing some light at the end of the tunnel on maybe inflation or things like that, we can be setting up for a massive move to the upside. Okay, a massive move. Even if we shoot up and we get rejected at the red SMA line, which is at 4,200 and we can call it 4,230, man, that's a huge move back to the upside that we're kind of setting ourselves up for. Okay, now if you take a look at TQQQ, which is going over and tracking the Nasdaq, kind of the same situation here as we bottomed out again, and now we're lower. At the redraw the fib level here, but from 2170, okay, 2170 is your low, and your high at the fib level is 9168. But you're not that far off from getting back into a bullish pattern here on TQQQ, which is only at about 3173. On some good aggressive green days, in about 3 to 4 days, you can be recovered right here. If you buy at 2170, this thing could easily, on some good days, get back up to $35 to $40, and then you have some room to run. And this is the Nasdaq, so the Nasdaq would have to obviously start recovering. And then also, guys, the Dow Jones, I'll probably have to redraw this as well because, yep, this one got taken out as well. And we're going to look at a low of 44.80. This is UDow, which tracks the Dow Jones. Let's see, 44.80. And then we go 88.98. So we're again at the bottom of the fib level once again on the Dow Jones, and Dow Jones is just getting crushed currently right now. So a lot of videos going around on YouTube that people are saying that they're selling everything. The market's gonna basically die. You're not gonna go to zero, right? So your decision here is kind of similar of what you have with ZNOG, is what are you going to do? Like if you do want to sell everything, then you could take losses, obviously, but if you do have some cash on the sideline and you're longer term, you're going to want to pick some good solid companies to start nibbling at and start building your longer term positions, such as Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, AMD, those type of companies, or in my opinion, they'll stand the test of time and they'll eventually come back higher. The thing is, you don't know how fast. Think about 2020, our crash and our recovery were pretty similar, right? So our crash in 2020, shot down. It's probably one of the fastest crashes you've ever seen because everyone thought the world was ending. And then the recovery, it's crazy how fast things shot up, right? And then in 2021, towards the end, we started kind of seeing a little bit of sketchiness, and then really back in late 2021, in my opinion, we kind of started the trend to have the crash. And in January, that's when everything started kind of moving down and down. It was like a slow bleeding death. And so I think the move to the upside might be the same. I hope it's not. I hope that we recover well. But you just got to keep in mind all the things going on in the country right now. Inflation is through the roof. Our administration is not, in my opinion, they're not doing what they can to, help out the economy, because it's all about, what they want on their agenda, and they're worried about everybody else except for us. So that's a very, very bearish sign for anybody that wants to buy into the market, because why would you put, your faith in the economy when the people who are running it are running it into the ground? So anyway, this is where, you hear people say this all the time. This is where you make your money on a crash. When you come in and buy, this is where you make your money. Just know that it could go lower, but eventually it probably will make its way back up. Historically, the stock market has always recovered and gone even higher than, where the crash has gone. So where the bottom is, I'm not sure. So it's something to kind of keep an eye on, and we'll do another video next week again, updating you on what happens in the market. So anyway, guys, just want to provide you that update. Let me know your comments below. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.